Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to embark on a really profound journey together. We're going to bridge the cutting-edge conflicts of our modern era, right back to the deepest, most ancient wisdom of the Iranian Plateau. We'll be uncovering a mathematical truth that is literally 55,000 years old. We're going to look through what we call the thermodynamic lens and see the world not as this chaotic clash of fleeting ideologies, but as a precise, elegant, and incredibly ancient exchange of energy.
Now, when we look at the news today, specifically the intense drone war between Russia and Ukraine, we are highly trained to view it through a very specific framework, right? We're taught to see it as a battle of good versus evil, right versus wrong. But what if we completely subvert those expectations? What if modern global conflict is actually just a thermodynamic equation? What if beneath all the heavy geopolitics and the rhetoric, what we're truly witnessing is simply the inevitable, mathematical balancing of two forces?
Section 1. The Thermodynamic Lens, Rethinking Global Conflict.
Okay, let's dive into this. If we strip away the layers of human morality and emotion that kind of constantly cloud our judgment, we find two completely distinct paradigms. You and I, we are profoundly accustomed to the moral paradigm of good versus evil. It's the default setting for how most of the world interprets history. But from the ancient Ahura Mazdan perspective, the universe doesn't operate as a courtroom judging right and wrong. It actually operates as a strict thermodynamic system, Ormazd versus Ahriman. It's an absolute system of polarity that is rooted in hard physics rather than morality.
Section 2. Origins in the Zagros, the J3 branch of Homo sapiens.
To truly understand this purely physical view of the universe, we have to guide our minds way, way back in time, high up into the altitudes of the Zagros and Alborz mountains on the Iranian Plateau, 55,000 years ago. I mean, just let the sheer vastness of that timeline sink in for a moment. It was right there, 55 millennia ago, that the J3 branch of Homo sapiens achieved something that would forever alter the trajectory of human thought, leading to what we call the high-altitude deduction.
You see, to survive the brutal, unforgiving cold of the Ice Ages, these early humans mastered the very first technology of separation, and that was fire. This singular mastery birthed a uniquely thermodynamic worldview. By meticulously separating heat from cold and light from dark, they basically recognized the foundational polarity of existence. This high-altitude deduction wasn't a religion in the way we understand it today. It was a deeply analytical, physical observation of exactly how energy operates to sustain life against the void.
Section 3. The Universal Battery, the Mechanics of Ahura Mazda.
So let's completely strip away the centuries of theological misinterpretations that have obscured this mathematical beauty. In this ancient system, Ormazd and Ahriman are not opposing deities fighting over the fragile souls of men. No, they are, quite simply, the essential unyielding poles of a universal battery. Ormazd represents the positive pole, and Ahriman represents the negative pole. It's as simple as that. Without both, the battery holds no charge. Without both, the universe is entirely inert.
And this leads us to the most crucial, really mind-bending redefinition here, Ahura Mazda. It's often translated merely as God or Lord Wisdom, but it's actually the literal current created by the friction and energy flowing between Ormazd and Ahriman. Wisdom, in this very ancient, rigorous sense, is the electrical charge of the universe. It's the energy physics of existence itself. Wisdom literally only exists because the positive and negative poles are locked in this perpetual state of friction.
Section 4. Sassanian Math and Qanats, Engineering the Cosmos.
Now, this esoteric philosophy wasn't just abstract poetry floating around. It was deeply rooted in hard, historical, physical engineering. The mathematical principles of thermodynamic distribution directly informed ancient Iranian society. The massive networks of Sassanian pipelines, for example, were designed expressly to distribute thermodynamic energy with breathtaking efficiency. And meanwhile, the Qanats, or Kariz, those intricate systems of deep subterranean wells, they weren't merely for water. They were sophisticated, highly calibrated tools used for cosmological observation.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how advanced they were. Consider the farsang. This ancient unit of measurement, remarkably akin to the modern parsec, was actually utilized to calculate the moon's trajectory from the very bottom of those deep Qanat wells. From the dark depths of the Earth, using those vertical shafts to intensely focus their view of the cosmos, ancient Iranians were calculating complex celestial mechanics. It's just a stunning, awe-inspiring testament to their 55,000-year grasp of physics and mathematics.
Section 5. Modern Friction and Drone Mad, the Mathematics of the Present.
So, bringing this historical narrative full circle, let's see exactly how this incredibly ancient math builds our modern world. Step 1. We have polarity, the unavoidable existence of opposing forces. Step 2. Friction. Maintaining strict impartiality here, we must observe that thermodynamically, conflict, such as the war between Russia and Ukraine, provides the sheer friction necessary for human deduction and technological evolution. Step 3 is current, the Ahura Mazda, that wisdom generated by this intense friction. And finally, equilibrium, dictated absolutely by the second law of thermodynamics. The energy must, inevitably, balance.
Which brings us to the concept of drone MAD. In the current drone war, we're witnessing a truly chilling phenomenon of mutually assured destruction. The technological parity has reached a point where the offensive and defensive capabilities, the positive and negative poles, perfectly cancel each other out. This stalemate isn't a political failure, nor is it a moral triumph. It is a thermodynamic certainty. It's the second law of thermodynamics playing out in cold, calculating real time right on the battlefield.
Section 6. A return to equilibrium, the inevitable balance. Listen to this statement straight from the source text. Once the energy is distributed and the poles are balanced, the good thought of equilibrium emerges. Think about the profound gravity of that. When the fierce friction of conflict exhausts itself, when that universal battery finally settles, the universe doesn't end in fiery destruction. It settles down into the quiet wisdom of perfect, peaceful balance.
And this profound realization reveals what the source playfully calls the joke of history. Despite all our dizzying modern advancements, despite the terrifying cutting-edge destruction of drone warfare, the resulting stalemate is simply forcing the world back into the exact same mathematical equilibrium that was discovered 55,000 years ago. We've traveled through millennia of agonizing friction, only to arrive right back at the precise stability understood by the ancients in the Zagros Mountains.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. As you observe future global conflicts, I invite you to look at them through this timeless, high-altitude lens. Are we merely doomed to generate endless, exhausting friction, or, as the thermodynamic math so elegantly suggests, are we finally ready to embrace the equilibrium of the ancients? Thank you so much for exploring this remarkable deduction with me.